Selling your condo in Toronto, there's so many of them. How do you differentiate yourself? Stay tuned for episode 001 of Prime Properties TV. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to episode 001 of Prime Properties TV. We're so glad you could join us. In our series, we're going to be talking about real estate, all the goods, no fluff from the field, so we can educate you, the end consumer, okay? So in our first episode, we're going to be talking about timing and motivation when selling a condo. Point number one, very, very important. What your motivation is, okay? It's different for everyone. It's different for your neighbor. It's different for a guy upstairs. It's different for you, okay? So a lot of people, maybe they bought a new place, they need to sell it, so they got to get rid of it. Maybe there's a death, maybe there's a divorce. Make sure you know exactly why you're selling, because if not, you'll be pulled in multiple different areas. Point number two, timing of the year. You hear this all the time. Spring market is hot, fall market is hot. Yes, that is true. So when you are considering when you're selling, make sure you align it with maybe the hot market. When it's spring and fall market, yes, there are a lot of buyers, but there's also a lot of sellers. So make sure you remember that. In future episodes, we'll be talking about how you differentiate your condo from everyone else's, okay? So what's spring market? What's fall market? Spring market is generally when the snow melts up until when the kids are out of school. Okay, so that's anywhere between, say, March, depending on the year, maybe April, up until end of June. The reason why spring market is great is because the snow melted, people want to come out, they're looking into the market again, and it's just nicer to not have to trek through snow and slush. Fall market, this is anywhere after Labor Day, and generally the phone calls start right up afterwards when the kids are back into school. This is between September to maybe mid-November, and the market, I would personally say, is the hottest at that point. Okay, there is some activity in between in the summer, but not as much because people in Toronto, you know, we all love the cottage life. We go to a cottage, we go on vacation, go to Europe, go somewhere, and there's not as many people around. Okay, so make sure you time it with the market. Point number three, okay? You want to make sure you look at the the state of the market, okay? Now, what I mean by the state of the market is not your friend who said this is going to be the hottest year for selling condo. Make sure you get into that. It's really where things are trending, because frankly, no one can predict the future unless you got a crystal ball, okay? You got people who are saying the housing market's going to crash. You got people saying the condos are going to increase 30% the next year. I don't know who's telling the truth. I don't know what kind of education and what kind of knowledge they're basing their opinions on. So take everything with a grain of salt. But do look at how your building, your area is trending. If it's looking up, and if it makes financial sense, and if it makes logical sense for you, then do it. Don't necessarily listen to other people. But make sure you do your homework and talk to your realtor or your real estate professional. Point number four, competition, your current competition. You know when you have a one-bedroom condo facing west, kitchen against the wall, and you know your bedroom has a walk-in closet? The guy above you probably has the exact same thing, and the guy below you has probably the exact same thing. So when you are about to sell it, make sure you see if there's anyone in your building that has something similar to you. Because you know what? If simple economics, supply and demand, if there's multiple types of units of your style, that means that the buyers have more option, which means less tours, less offers, and it also means that they can leverage your unit against your neighbor or upstairs and downstairs neighbor against you, okay? So do your homework or talk to a realtor and they can probably pull up all the things that are available in your building. Point number five, okay? We're coming to a close. You want to check your neighboring areas, okay? So what I mean by that is, I'll give you an example. I had a buyer, he worked in the financial core on Bay Street, and he just told me, then the location doesn't matter as long as I'm one streetcar ride into work. So what does that mean for him? So most buyers look in multiple areas. So for him, he looked in City Place, then he looked in King West, and then he looked in Liberty Village. All of them are on one streetcar line going into that area. So make sure you look at your neighboring areas, because you know what? You need to know how to differentiate your neighborhood and area and building so that you're primed to sell your condo. So, you know, if in your City Place and you have unobstructed views of CN Tower, sell that. If you're in King West and you're 2 feet from Drake's new restaurant, sell that. If you're in Liberty Village and you're a little bit more isolated from the city core, make sure you sell that. And make sure you know your building well. If not, talk to a realtor, because find someone who knows your building. If your building has low maintenance fees, sell low maintenance fees. If your building has really, really sexy amenities, sell really sexy amenities, because you need to know why you are different and how you differentiate yourself, okay? So if you learned something from this video, or you really just enjoyed this video, click the like button down here and click subscribe to Prime Properties TV. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Our team will do our best to answer them. And in the next episode, we're going to be continuing talking about how to sell a condo. So make sure you stay tuned. But before we wrap up our first episode, just want to give a big shout out to the one-man crew who's actually behind the camera right now, Eamon, for setting all of this up. So thank you very much. And remember, make sure you share this with your family and friends, because an educated consumer is the best consumer. See you later, Toronto.